Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Pete and Jordan here. We want to give you an update on Give Good. A couple weeks ago, we reached out to our podcast listeners of The Good Talk and just asked you guys if you would help us help another family out. A friend of mine by the name of Dave had reached out and said, man, my neighbor's house just burned down. They lost everything. They have 6 kids. They lost all their Christmas presents. They lost their house. They lost their 2 cars parked next to the house. Everything just burned up. And he's like, I just feel desperate, like we need to do something to help them. So we decided to reach out to you guys and just say, hey, would you be willing to give $1, maybe $2, maybe $5? And man, did you guys step up, and you were so unbelievably generous.
Yeah, you guys gave over $3,200, which for a family of 8, with lists, that were very modest, we were able to really bless them and give them some awesome Christmas gifts. So we went shopping, and we had some intel and had some ideas of things that they were wanting and things that they had already gotten for their kids for Christmas. Because of your generosity, it was above and beyond what I think that they were hoping to give their kids. So thank you guys so much. It was really fun to shop for. We wish all of you could have come and shopped with us, but we were able to get a lot of great things for these kids.
We had to have a party to wrap the presents because there's so many.
With our neighbors, we invited them down just to come and help us wrap. That was a lot of fun. Just having everybody kind of be involved in this was really exciting. But we're really pumped to give this to them today, and we want to invite you guys to come along.
Yeah, as Jordan said, we wish that every one of you could be with us because this wouldn't happen without your generosity. And so the impact that's about to be had on this family who's gone through so much in the past week, they're going to be transformed because of your generosity. So hope you enjoy this video. We're going to get some things packed up, and then we're going to head their way. It seems strange for me. I can't imagine how it feels to you, but like to be standing here knowing that a week ago you lived in this house.
Yeah, it's so surreal. I feel like I need to wake up.
Yeah. Does it feel like a dream? Like
yes.
A really bad dream?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was outside working on the farm and messing with barbed wire fencing, and I heard a loud boom, and my assumption was that it was their car that had caught fire. I ran up to the top hill of my property and I saw a bunch of smoke, and I ran inside to Ashley real quick and I said, Ash, I think the Hughes' house is on fire.
And I got the phone call from Ashley, and she just said, your house is on fire. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I called him back. I was like, we have a fire extinguisher. And Dave was like, no, we can't get to the fire extinguisher.
It was heartbreaking. It really was.
Yeah, for me, the first conversation I had with Mike, he's like, all right, we're coming home. And he called me about 5 minutes later and said, hey, can you go inside? There's a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. And that's when I had to say, no, there's nothing left. Like the whole house is on fire. And yeah, it is. It's just heartbreaking to have to pass on to people that, whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
It was just especially heartbreaking to pass on to someone that you know.
Yep. So we rushed all the way home from Dixon, and when we got here, it was still, they hadn't put it out yet. And so it was, and then it went like blurry.
Yeah. It's almost like shock.
I was in
some
shock.
kind of shock.
For sure in shock.
Do you remember anything about like that feeling of, I mean, I just can't imagine like sitting there watching your own house just going up in flames, right?
Yeah.
It's on fire. Like, do you remember anything about what you were thinking in that moment as far as like what you might be losing?
I do remember when we first got here, I was standing at the top of our driveway and I was just watching my house burn, and I was just sobbing. And then I remember, because at church 20 minutes before we got the phone call, I got a sense of comfort, and something told me, go write the check for the tithes for Sunday morning.
Wow.
I walked back out to my car and I wrote the 10% tithe check that was in my checkbook to turn in on Sunday. And as I'm standing at our driveway an hour later, watching my house burn, I thought, how am I ever going to pay my 10%? And then it came to me that regardless of what happens, I'm going to go to church in the morning, I'm going to pay my 10% tithes.
Wow.
Because he's got us at the end of this.
That's crazy that that's what you were thinking about.
That's
in
what I was
that
thinking
moment.
about.
Not your own personal loss, but you were concerned about what you might not be able to give. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
When you think about what you have lost, because you've lost a lot in the past week, right?
Yeah.
What emotionally is the hardest for you?
Well, I walked in the other day for the first time by myself, and I just walked to all my kids' bedrooms, and I just sobbed. To know that we brought our kids home and everything was gone. And the memories that we had made here, because we're a blended family.
Right.
I know majority of the furniture in the house itself can be replaced.
Yeah.
But it was going through and finding ornaments off the tree that they had made laying in the yard, and handprints and footprints that I had made shattered all over my living room. I'll never get that stuff back.
Yeah.
And so that's been the hardest.
This is the handwritten notes that y'all wrote me on my 16th birthday. That's what's in this.
I'll be honest, 2020 has been weird for all of us. Going to church looks a lot different for a lot of people. And knowing that a lot of us haven't been going to a church building, the first thing that entered my mind was I don't need the building. We are the church, every single one of us. And sorry, I don't want to get emotional too, but for me, that's what made me want to step up.
My understanding is too that you lost all the Christmas presents and all that stuff.
Yeah, they were able, we went through them because the firefighters were able to, get out what they could, and we went through them last night, and I think we were able to salvage one out of all of the Christmas presents, but they tried.
Yeah.
But the water damage from it had...
Significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jordan and I, we have this, we do this little podcast that we just started really 6-7 weeks ago, right? It's called The Good Talk, and it's just kind of an opportunity for us to kind of share inspiration, and we talk about on the podcast that it exists to remind people of God's love and just the joy of life, right? And so when we heard about what you guys were going through, we kind of just reached out to our little podcast family and said, hey, this family's really struggling. And we just asked people, we're like, could you donate $1 or $5 or $10, whatever, just if you have a little something extra you could give at Christmas, would you be willing to donate that? And they collectively, our little community, raised a little over $3,000 to give to you guys. And so we took that money and we got a list of all your Christmas presents, and so we went out and we replaced your whole Christmas list and then some. And so we're gonna unload those presents and show them to you in just a second. But I think your kids are gonna be super happy. And what was so awesome is that there was enough left over for us to give you and your husband $1,000.
Oh my goodness.
To do whatever you want to with it. I mean, I know you got a lot of needs right now, but I hope that you'll treat this as just a Christmas gift and go out to a nice dinner, or buy yourself something, whatever you want. But our hearts are just broken for what you guys are going through, and I cannot imagine what you've been through. And so I hope in some small way this will just be another reminder to you, the same reminder you had when you were at church that day. God's got you.
Yes, he does.
And it's going to be okay. On the other side of all this, it's going to be okay.
Yes, it will. He's held us, and literally it's felt like he has carried us.
Yeah.
There's been days where it's hard to even walk,
I bet.
and you can just feel him lifting me up and walking me through it. It's been incredible. But I really appreciate it.
Don't mention it. It's the least that we could do. Can I give you a hug?
Oh my gosh, that is so
Like
cool.
all wrapped in red paste. So that'll help you.
That is so awesome.